Hey guys, it's your girl Shella, Promostk, and I'm doing an inmate snack mukbang. And this is part of my prison experience series. All right, and don't forget about our March feature channel, the legendary House of Shay. Y'all run her playlist and show her some love. Yes, and don't forget to come to our channel and subscribe. Make that red button gray. Oh yeah, let's get into this inmate snack mukbang. Hey guys, it's me again. Promostk, eating good in the neighborhood. It's your girl Shella, and I was talking to you in my last video. I was telling you guys about some of the snacks that the inmates will thrive on pretty much. So I got something for y'all. What I have here, peanut butter. They just get the little peanut butter in a little tube, just little hard looking peanut butters in the tubes. I have some honey buns. Honey buns, inmates' favorite snacks. We're gonna take a picture, y'all. All right, and I'm telling you, this is one of the main like snack desserts or whatever that they traded was honey buns. And I'm telling you, we take that. I'm telling you guys, a lot of stuff we take for granted. They peel that bag open like this, and thank God for the ones that had access to a microwave. They would put this in the microwave and heat it up just like that. They get that peanut butter. I'm gonna eat this, so I'm gonna go ahead and bless the food. Dear Lord, thank you for this food I'm about to receive. In Christ Jesus' name I do pray. Amen, amen, amen. Now, they would get that peanut butter in them. I'm probably show y'all about the amount that they have. They probably get like in one of those little cups. So it's not much. It's probably like maybe 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. So probably about this much right here. And they smear it on there. They smear that peanut butter on here, like frosting on a cake. And for some of them, well, a lot of them, this was their meal. I don't know if y'all heard of peanut butter on. And I'm telling you, these inmates would be so creative. They just frosting a cake. Like this was their best dessert in the world. I'm gonna let y'all see it. Right here. Right here. Yep, right there. It was like their best dessert in the world, that peanut butter. But it made them full. So for ones that didn't have anything to eat, it made them full. And they would eat that just like this. Some would cut it with a knife and eat it, section it off and eat it. Some would just bite it like this. Now, I'm not a fan. Definitely not a fan, y'all. But, now I do put cheese on my honey bun. I do put cheese on my honey bun, but the inmates, what they have access to, they would get a little tube of peanut butter. And it tastes okay. Kind of like a peanut butter sandwich. If y'all ever ran out of jelly, but y'all had sugar, yeah, we would take the peanut butter and put sugar on top of it, and we would eat it. So this is what it tastes like to me. But the inmates eat this like, you get them a honey bun and some peanut butter. It's inmate dessert right here. I don't know what they call it. Peanut butter cake? I don't know. Maybe it do taste a little bit like a peanut butter cake. But y'all, Inmate's very creative. Very creative. So I'm gonna finish this up. But I was talking about the dessert that they eat, and this is one of them. So it's okay. It's not bad. It's not like it's nasty or anything. But an inmate that had a honey bun and an inmate that was indigent, this right here was like caviar to an indigent inmate that had nothing. They didn't get snacks. And a lot of times, the inmates that had money at books would purchase extra stuff to give to the indigent inmate in exchange for something off of their plate. And 9 times out of 10, it was whatever the best thing was on that plate, they would get it. Or for cigarettes. Them indigent inmates would pretty much sell their soul to get cigarettes. And that's for the ones that smoke. But I'm telling you, I kid you not, it seems like just about every inmate in that facility smoked. So when they made it to a non-smoking facility, I was like, yes. Then the inmates that was indigent didn't have to worry about trying to do stuff for cigarettes. But I don't mind. Because again, you got these inmates. Ooh, that got stuck somewhere. So then you got inmates that will say, okay, can't get what I want out of these indigent inmates. Let me get what I want out of one of these officers. And I kid you not, it was not just the female officers that fell prey to these inmates that had money on their books. These inmates that had money were promised these officers stuff. Because y'all remember, the inmates that had money, they obviously had family members out there that was help sending them money and help support them. So they would have their family members send stuff to, and what's so stupid, these officers would give the inmate their actual address where they lived. So the inmate's family, or whoever the inmate was associated with, would have their family send whatever they need to send them to them until it got to a point where, okay, I gave you this. Now I need you to do this for me. And it may have been an officer like, no, I ain't doing it. If you don't do it, my family on the outside gonna contact the warden and let them know what you've been doing in here, what you've been supplying me with. So they got you. Why do y'all put yourself through that? You're free. You're officers. You're supposed to be upholding the law. Did I turn off? Oh no. You're supposed to be upholding the law in the prison. And because you're not paid the what you think you need to be paid, you want to take what the inmate is offering you. I'm telling you. You even have some inmates now that went a certain way. And they were looking at officers that went a certain way too. They'd be flirting with the officers. But I'm telling you, it was very alarming to watch inmates say suggestive things to these female officers. And the female officer just laugh it off. No, that is inappropriate. Once you open that gate, that floodgate, the inmates are going to feel like they're not going to respect you for one. And they're going to feel like they can just talk to you any kind of way. Like you some woman on the street and they just whistling at you, you know. And when you start smiling in their face, they're going to say, she like that. She like when I compliment her. I'm going to keep on doing it because I can get something out of her. I'm telling you, inmates got all day. They got all day to watch you, to see what your triggers are, to see if you having a good day, to see if you having financial problems or if you having relationship problems. Because they hear you talking to other officers about your problems. They'll be sweeping the floors, acting like they ain't paying you no attention, but trust me, their ears are like radars. They hear everything. And then they go back and talk and tell the other inmates, yeah, man, oh, let's do that. Let's see if we can get her to bring us something in. And then they start sweet talking these inmates, and I'm telling you, I've seen it too many times. They sweet talk these inmates. The inmates sweet talk the officers. Then you notice the officers start dressing a certain kind of way. Getting their hair done, their nails done. You're working in a prison with a whole bunch of men that have not had sex. Why do you want to dress like you just came off a runway? Literally, why would you want to? You know, you got these men that have been there for years, have not had sex, maybe with other men, but you're a woman. Why would you dress that way and put yourself out there? What if something happened, there was a shakedown or whatever, you got caught and you were in with all those inmates? Because I'm telling y'all, you have 100+ inmates in a dorm. And it's an open dorm. They have their cells. There's 2 men in a cell. But the whole bottom floor, as soon as you walk in, the whole bottom floor has tables because that's where they eat. So the inmates do everything in there. They eat in there. They have rec in there. They have reading time. They play cards in there. They watch TV in there. They have a lot of stuff to do. And they have a lot of time to think about what's on their mind. So if something was to happen, a fight, they decided, you know what, we're gonna have a fight so that we can get this one officer. They'll do it. And they may have that officer pinned up in a corner and be raping that officer. And it has happened. And nobody's the wiser because there was only one officer in that. Let me tell y'all, I know for a fact, when you're in that prison, there's supposed to be at least 2 officers there. And especially if it's a woman going in there, there should be another officer there. Because I know me as a mailroom supervisor, when I had to go into the dorm, an officer had to be there. Not following me around because I wasn't scared of those inmates. The inmates weren't being any way, shape, or form out of the way with me. They knew I was a supervisor in the mailroom. They didn't want to mess around with the mailroom lady. They want to make sure they get their mail. But you have officers that are supposed to be watching your back because I'm a woman and I'm not an officer. So there's a difference of me being a woman, a supervisor that wasn't an officer. So they would have to have someone in there to be pretty much watching my back because I'm not an officer. I'm not armed with anything. I'm the supervisor in the mailroom, so I don't have any weapons. I don't have anything to protect myself with. These officers do. So when the officer, if it's a female officer, goes into a dorm, she may be in a dorm with 100 men. And you never know what may happen. It's a dangerous situation. It's a dangerous job. That these correction officers, they don't get paid for what they do. It's scary. Now, I know I couldn't be an officer working in a prison with them inmates every day. I know I could not do it. I'm sorry, I could not do it. I was a mailroom supervisor, and I handled my mailroom, and I handled the inmates' mail. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's no way I could be one-on-one 24 hours a day, 12 hours a day with inmates. There's no way. I know I couldn't do it. The inmates and the officers are pretty much one, because the officers are stuck there. They're in prison. They can't leave. They can't abandon their post unless somebody's there to relieve them. They can't even go to the bathroom unless there's somebody there to relieve them. Just imagine. Just imagine how that even sounds. They can't have cell phones. So what if they want to get in touch with their child or a loved one? They're in prison. They can't just leave their post and go make a phone call. Because you're not allowed to have cell phones on you. So I'm telling you guys, people take for granted a lot of stuff. These inmates out there are sacrificing their lives. These officers are out there sacrificing their lives to protect these inmates. Because that's what they're doing. They're protecting those inmates. Inmates from other inmates. And they're watching over them. That's what these officers are doing, and that's what they should do. They shouldn't be harming or disrupting the energy of those inmates. The system is flawed. The system is flawed. The system is flawed. We need to be educating our inmates, educating them to the fullest, to prepare them for the outside world. Some went to prison when they were in the teens. They never even heard of cell phones. So a lot of stuff they ain't never heard of. And then we release them out in the world not being prepared, not being equipped. They're terrified themselves, and they end up falling back prey to what got them in there to begin with. And now they're doing time again. That recidivism rate is so high. We got to correct that. Somehow, some way. You guys, we cannot have these inmates falling prey to each other and then coming out in the real world doing the same thing that they did when they was in prison because they were fighting for their lives, and now they're out in the real world and they're fighting for their lives again. They don't know how to cope. They have not been taught to cope the real world. Whew. All right, you guys. I'm going to end this. I'll be back again. I hope that you guys learned something from out of this. And if y'all got questions, y'all want to hear more, y'all just comment below. I have so many avenues that I can go down. I mean, I did 6 years in prison. All right. Promostk, Sheila's Creations Way. That's my cooking channel, y'all. Promostk, eating good in the neighborhood. Eating good in the neighborhood. All right, you guys. See you on the next My Prison series.